I'm sure you don't need me to tell you popular series like Dandadan and Kaiju Number 8 are returning in less than a month, so allow me to share with you some of the other anime you may not have known are coming back this year. Whether it be as a movie or a full-fledged season's worth of episodes, here's 10 pretty great anime making their return before the end of 2025. For those who've been around my channel long enough, then you may recognize this first anime as one I embarrassingly miscategorized back when it first started airing.
It's literally just an anime about diving, though. A college kid moves to an ocean city and his uncle owns a diving shop. I'm sure you can figure out where it'll go from there.
Yeah. Listen, I saw the season 1 visual and a preview showing what seemed to be something rather wholesome, and from that I made the surface level assumption that this was an anime all about diving. Well, when that first episode finally came out in 2018, it was abundantly clear that I couldn't be more wrong. Turns out it's a lot less about the exploration of the ocean and a lot more adult humor that we don't typically find in anime. Fast forward now to 7 years later, and Grand Blue will be making its return later this summer. That's right, Season 2 for this unique portrayal of college life is coming in July. It's not often we get an anime so focused on partying and drinking, but what we get in return is an extremely comedic depiction of everything but diving. It's a great anime to get quite a few laughs out of. Of course, the animation of the first season did well to help all the jokes go further, so if you were worried the quality or style might not be the same 7 years later, it should be pretty similar considering both the animation studio and director are remaining the same. If you liked Season 1, then not much should be different for Season 2. Returning alongside it is Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus, which some of you may better recognize as the long-awaited continuation to the Bunny Senpai series. We first got an amazing Season 1 back in 2018, a very emotional movie wrapping up that season in 2019, a follow-up movie that probably shouldn't have been a movie in the summer of 2023, then another movie later that year solving one of the series' most prominent mysteries. This probably shouldn't have been a movie either, but unfortunately that's just the format we got. Now that this new season is finally returning to the TV format though, we can enjoy the Rascal series the way we all enjoyed it back when it first came out. Weekly episodes of Mai's sass and Sakata's depression. For those who've only watched the first season though, if you're planning to hop into this new one, then you definitely have to watch the movies first. They're not just filler or side stories irrelevant to the plot, each is a core part of the series continuing the story right where we left it. So, if you hop into this new one without watching any of them, then you're gonna be confused since you would have missed out on about 4 volumes worth of story. Keep in mind though, none of these movies are available to stream traditionally. It's a core reason why releasing them this way was so terrible. So, if you're gonna try to find them, then you might have to do so via other means. An unexpected movie coming out right before this is Kyoto Animation's continued adaptation of Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Season 2 aired back in 2021, and just like with Sound Euphonium, Violet Evergarden, and Free, they're following it up with a movie. For me, these are always a treat definitely worth checking out since with the TV anime already being as good as it is, the movie budget versions somehow always go above and beyond. And with a vibrant and expressive series like Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, one can only imagine how amazing scenes like this would turn out. As for what the movie is covering, it's an arc centered around Kana, an emotional plot dealing with her, her father, and the life she was exiled from before coming to Earth. This is often considered the best arc of the entire series, and given its short length of 14 chapters in the manga, it makes sense that Kyoto Animation would pivot to the movie format for it. It's sure to be some of the best Dragon Maid we've seen to date. Another movie I didn't realize was so close to coming out is the first part of the Demon Slayer trilogy. Last season ended with everyone falling into Muzan's castle, and rather than finish the series with that same episodic TV format, Aniplex is instead capitalizing on what I assume is the significantly more profitable movie format. So, as awesome as it would have been to experience the end of Demon Slayer week by week, we're instead getting 3 movies that should adapt the final arc in its entirety. There is always the chance it ends up getting the Attack on Titan treatment, but I wouldn't really hold your breath for it. At the very least, we'll be in for a visual masterpiece. I mean, the last time I watched a Ufotable movie in theaters, I exited having witnessed one of the greatest fight scenes in anime history. So I'm hoping these Demon Slayer movies can do the same. The first will be out locally July 18th, while I assume the international release will come a few months after. Eventually, I'm sure we'll get to the point of joint local and international release. Now, this next series I haven't watched myself, but when it first came out in 2022, I heard quite a few good things about its take on vampires. Plus, with this being helmed by the same director as the iconic Monogatari series, I can only assume Call of the Night is in the best hands it possibly could be. I mean, who better to direct a series centered around vampires than someone whose portfolio is nothing but vampires? So, Call of the Night is returning with Season 2 on July 4th, animated by Liden Films just like the first season and directed by Itamura once again. I can't comment on how good the story is or what it'll cover, but at the very least we're sure to get something incredibly artistic and perhaps even another banger by Creepynuts. Moving onward into the fall now, a couple iconic shonen are returning in the form of One Punch Man and My Hero Academia. Both were a core part of how I got into anime almost a decade ago, so I'm happy to see them continuing all this time later. My Hero has been pretty consistent in releasing a new season pretty much yearly, so it's no surprise it's finally coming to an end now. Studio Bones has done a fantastic job bringing this series to life, and I'm extremely excited to watch how they decide to finish it. It's been a long 9 years since the first season came out back in 2016, and with 6 more after, 3 movies and 1 spin-off, here we are with one final season. At this point, you're either watching it or you're not, so for those who are, this is just me making you aware it's coming out in October. As for One Punch Man Season 3, unfortunately Madhouse isn't coming back to give us the same spectacle we got in Season 1. It's instead JC Staff again, but even then that's not enough to say whether the quality will be the same as what we got with Season 2. With JC Staff being this massive studio taking part in multiple anime a season, we won't know who's actually responsible until the anime staff is revealed to us. That being the case, there's a good chance the quality could change for better or worse. I do hope it's for the better though, since the fights expected to happen this season are some of the best. Murata went absolutely nuts when it came to illustrating the manga for this. Also returning October is To Your Eternity, bringing us more of the immortal shapeshifter Fushi and his experiences traversing the entire timeline of humanity. Season 1 was this deep rollercoaster of emotion jumping from experience to experience, while Season 2 strays far from it and leans more into one single conflict. That's not to say that's a bad thing, but if you're expecting the same nuanced beats the first season delivered so spectacularly, Season 2 didn't really have that, and you might not be getting that in Season 3 either. That said, the idea of Fushi waking up in the modern age does seem pretty interesting. Coming out October 29th is Star Wars Visions Volume 3, once again showcasing the deeper Star Wars universe in this beautifully animated anthology. Whether it be Wit Studio, Production IG, or Studio Trigger, each installment is delivered by one of the most prominent studios in the industry. It's as much a showcase of talent as it is an exploration of Star Wars. There's no overarching plot or interconnecting story, but for each independent episode we're presented with a vision of Star Wars we've never seen before. Some might be amazing and others not so much, but for each, the animation alone makes it worth it. It's pretty cool to see some of your favorite studios work on a franchise like this. Finally, we have Studio Mappa's return with the Chainsaw Man movie, bringing us the sequel we've all been waiting for. After all the love Jujutsu Kaisen got, I know a lot of you Chainsaw Man fans were dying to see what Mappa would deliver next. So this is finally coming out September 29th, and it'll be a direct continuation to where Season 1 ended. It's an arc that's best left as discreet as possible, so aside from the title being the Reze arc, I think we can just leave it at that. There's no doubt the animation will be immaculate either, and with a stacked staff listing such as this, I don't think there's cause for concern in any of the other departments. But yeah, that's 10 great anime returning before the end of the year. Just a short in-between news video for while I decide what anime to talk about next. Let me know which of these 10 anime you're most looking forward to, and if you want to see more videos like these, then feel free to subscribe. Until next time though, ciao!